Hey Tony, it's Thursday, and it's really, really warm here. I had a whole nother video planned. Well, first off, to answer your question, Tony, I have zero intention to go to any conventions anytime soon. Those cost money, and so it's unlikely I'll go to any of those soon. But as I was saying before, I had a whole nother idea for this video today, but there was some really bad news that I heard on the radio today that just made me stop and want to rethink this. I don't know if you know yet, Tony, but Chester Bennington, the frontman of Linkin Park, committed suicide today. He was 41. Now, Taylor and I were just driving in the car after doing a lot of running around, and we heard that on the radio, and it was honestly shocking. Now, growing up, I mean, think about it, Tony, how often we listened to Linkin Park when we were with James and we were with Mom and Dad, and it's crazy to think that their lead singer, one of the most important people in that band, is gone, and it's hard, especially like he was young, he was 41, still had a lot of life to give, but it falls down to the same base part that mental health diseases are just as serious as any other disease. And quite frankly, as a country, we don't investigate, we don't examine, we don't do enough for mental health issues. And it's sad, because think about just this year alone, I can think of two people off the top of my head who committed suicide, both very talented artists who are gone now. Chris Cornell of Soundgarden and Audioslave, and now Chester Bennington. And it's no matter how you look at it, it's I would almost call it a tragedy because of how many lives their music has touched. I mean, I remember like you and I all the time just jamming out to like Bleed It Out and parts of Meteora, and that was years ago, and I still have fond memories of that. I remember when Mom and Dad first got the album, and we were listening to it, and at first I didn't care for it because that's when I was, all in the pop music. But it's just shocking, really. And I'm not fully sure how to respond, but what I do know is that mental health needs to be a priority, because how many more of these talented individuals are we going to lose because we failed to look at their mental health? We failed to keep to keep them healthy. And I think of it this way: if we had a bunch if regular diseases were treated as they treat mental diseases, how terrible it'd be. Like, I'm sure you've seen the editorial cartoon you see or not editorial cartoon, but like the cartoon you see going around, in which you have somebody who has like the flu who's really sick, is throwing up, and you have the other person's like, nah, it'll be over soon, you're fine, it's not a big deal, don't worry about it. And quite frankly, it's not effective. Depression is a serious issue that many people have, and so often it's not diagnosed, it's not treated, and because of that, you get tragedies like we have with Chris Cornell, Chester Bennington, and a lot of other individuals. Mental health has got to be a priority that we haven't invested enough in. Now, I know there are certain issues with mental health mental health investigation. It's still a relatively new form of healthcare, so there's a lot of experimental things that people aren't exactly sure how you can fully diagnose somebody, and that's just quite frankly not acceptable. We have to do more to keep people safe, because not only do you have like celebrities who are problems with these, we have people who have issues. I mean, I think now I only knew a couple of people in high school and undergrad who committed suicide, and I didn't know them that well, but it was hard for the school and everything. And no matter what, it's something that needs to be looked at better, because what we've done so far has not been effective, and it's unacceptable. Mental health is the exact same type of disease that any other type of health issue is. It's one we have to put more funding into, we have to put more research into. Tony, my question for you is first. Well, I guess it's two questions. First off, did you hear about Chester Bennington's death, and how did it make you feel? I don't. You probably. I mean, you never listened to Linkin Park as much as I did growing up, but it's still shocking. But Tony, I'll see you on Thursday. Sorry, I'll see you on Tuesday. Later, bro.